Hello everybody, welcome back to the Our Smiling Faces podcast for a special question and answer this week.
Do you want to do that again?
No, I'm going. Perfect every time, man.
I normally introduce these ones.
The question and answer a little bit laid back on them compared to the other one, so we'll just go with it. And so, two lads from Wor Flags, Andrew. Thomas.
Thomas. Why are you looking at me when you say Andrew?
he was looking for the validation that he got right.
For it. Is it like a nod? Just a nod. Well done, Chris.
I'm Johnny.
So yeah, anyone watching it, I got his name wrong earlier. Sorry, it's a complete different name.
It wasn't the guy out the flags, so it wasn't that bad.
Margaret. Sandra.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just going to dive into the questions. Yeah. First one is sent in...
Why don't you just do that? That'd be a good idea.
I'm going to wait.
just do that.
I'm going to. It's because of question answer when I've had a couple of cans. Like, it just goes downhill. So, NUFC_LGOCB, whatever that means.
Is that like one of them new, groups?
What, like
LCOGB?
What's
What could that stand for?
I've got no
I
idea.
don't know, but it's like, it just sounded like you were going down that kind of route.
So, he wants to be a frying pan. He says in, it's the quickest and easiest form of social media for all of us fans to... What? Oh, shit, sorry, I've done it again. I've read one for 3 days ago. So, on the back of that, he was slating Twitter. So, I'll ask a question from that. How do you find Twitter in regards to a way to connect with fans?
For us, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We raised £17,000 on the back of social media.
Because of social media.
Yeah.
We've raised all of our money basically on the back of social media.
So that comment came on the back of someone saying Twitter was a graveyard for Newcastle fans. I replied saying it's up there. Like, I personally feel Twitter for a Newcastle fan base is outweighing the likes of Facebook or Instagram and stuff like that. I've always struggled with Facebook interaction.
Oh, it's awful.
It's cringy. I find Facebook a lot cringy compared to Twitter. Obviously, Twitter, it's full of yard numpty, but I think you've got a lot of connection in Twitter solely.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's more personal, isn't it, Twitter?
Yeah.
You can get a bit of a relationship because you're replying to a person through an account, whereas Facebook, it's just a load of random comments and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But how would we have raised £17,000 without social media? How would it been? Would it have been stand outside of the ground with buckets? And we're going to put a big massive flag on, give us some money. You know
to be fair, people have actually said we should do that, but we've always said no because obviously the food bank outside the
you take money out of the food bank.
Exactly. So we just won't do that.
To be fair though, social media can be its own enemy at times as well, because you look at stuff saying, are you boycotting a certain game, and everyone says yes, 100%. The game comes and you're like, did this message not get across?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's you've just got to look at last season and the campaigns that were going on to see, how much it fell on its arse. At the time when we did the late walking and stuff like that, I stayed in the concourse, but then when you came, it seemed quite full at the time, but then once you actually came up the stairs, it was like, Christ, am I the only one that's actually done this?
Yeah.
So that was the one where the club turned the monitors off as well. That was that game, wasn't it? The club turned the TVs off.
And West Ham scored just on the 11th.
That was
right on you.
That was a thing from the club, but it's understandable why they did. They're trying to force people back out. It is what it is on that one. So the first question for the lads from Wor Flags is: has the club ever stopped Wor Flags displaying any flags? That's from Stephen Howlett.
There was one.
Was it the Keegan one?
Nope. It was.
You don't have to go in too much detail if you just want to
it's fine. It's basically because of the Keegan one. We didn't have to get our displays approved, but we had a good relationship with Lee anyway.
Yeah.
And none of them since were protesting, so we were just like, oh, this is what we're doing at the weekend. There's a picture of it. He was like, oh, that's class, mate, champion, crack on. So we'd actually made one for the start of last season, around the time that Mike Ashley was buying House of Fraser.
Right, okay.
It was like the next home game, and we'd made a House of Benitez banner.
That was outside the ground, wasn't it?
It was outside the ground, so we'd made it, and we were going to put it
outside.
up. But because it was funny, it was playing on the... And then Lee actually did say that the club probably wouldn't appreciate that, and we were thinking to ourselves, right, okay, is it worth
ruining the rest of the season
for that.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to get banned, let's do something properly.
Yeah.
Like, that was just not worth the hassle.
No,
so we just didn't do it.
I didn't realise that never got in the ground. Like, I've seen loads of photos of it outside the ground.
I can't remember what game it was. It was like the first game in September, because didn't he buy House of Fraser like the day after the transfer window closed?
Because that's his favourite thing to do. I only bought game a couple of weeks ago.
Last week
the transfer window closed at the start of the season, didn't it? I keep forgetting about that.
It's like the first week, isn't it?
It might have been the Tottenham game.
You don't spend millions on companies and not players.
So we just sacked it off. We thought it's not worth the hassle.
Understandable.
So we just sack that one off.
It's funny because I remember us sitting here one podcast in the early days of you lads kind of setting out with the flags and all that kind of thing, and we actually talked about, I wonder if there would ever be a situation where you guys put on a display that was kind of anti Ashley, anti the club and stuff like that. We sat and had a bit of a conversation around it.
The Keegan one, that was borderline, you would say.
There's
And
been
the
a
Rafa one
Well,
was
no, we're
borderline.
not allowed to do anti-Ashley displays.
Of course, you're not going to
You're
have
not
a big one
allowed to,
every
because
fuck off Ashley.
we
Of course.
want to be able to keep doing displays. And if you do one, you're not going to be able to do
It's got to be very subtle, very discreet about how you go about it, but
Look at
to
the
the
ones
point
that
where fans will know what you're trying to
the Keegan one,
put out there.
the Rafa Spanish quote. We actually, not long after the House of Benitez one, we did This Club Is My Club.
And we did that one though, didn't we? So obviously it went along with the chant.
This Club Is My Club. And because we thought,
having a dig at
we're having a dig, but it doesn't look like, because it's a chant. So we can get away with it kind of thing.
I mentioned on the last podcast that we did favourite flags, and I completely forgot about the one where it was Lascelles and Rafa flags bang in the middle. Then either side was like the words like greed, like crossed out and stuff like that. That was up there, because I love that one, because that was basically stick fingers up at the media.
It was 100%. It was sticking up the fingers up the media,
and that's what we've as a fan base, we hate how we're portrayed at certain points.
Exactly.
The deluded and they want this and this. Like, we don't.
No.
Like I've struggled to find a Newcastle fan that I know, and I know plenty of them that expects what the media portrays what expect. It's complete bullshit. Like European football, I don't know a Newcastle fan that would say, oh, we should be getting European football. No, like, why should we? You've got to earn that, and the situation we're in right now, we don't deserve anything.
Not at all.
Would like it though.
Of course, we'd love it.
We'd hope to push for it.
Yeah, we'd absolutely love it, and of course
But
that
we
would
know
be the aim. But we
it's
know
never going to happen.
It's impossible.
at this moment in time.
Yeah.
We wouldn't physically expect it or demand it. That's the word, demand, and that I say quite a lot.
Demand a try.
So Paul Clark sends in, do you think Ashley knows the impact of his decisions? And do you think it keeps him up at night?
No.
Yeah.
I think probably answer his first question, probably, and then I think he might be doing it to piss what off.
I would say, like, a lot of people say, oh, he's probably pissed me off, but like, I've never got on board with that. Like, I think
that's too
he's
far-fetched.
I think he's that sort of character where he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, he just physically doesn't care. I don't think he's doing it intentionally just to piss off.
Sees his bank
I think, like,
going up, and
yeah.
that's
So I think Rafa going, I think now he thinks, I'll replace him with someone that'll do a job and keep in the Premier League. Doesn't matter if I finish 17th or 13th, as long as we're in the Premier League.
He'll hear about what his consequences are on the fans. He'll hear about it,
Yeah,
but it'll be they're not very happy again. All right, okay, well, and then move on.
But to be fair, he's never really there to feel the impact of it, is he, or to see and appreciate it. And I guess that kind of goes a bit hand in hand when he is there. Is that you've got to make sure he knows about it.
This is the most irritating thing. It could have worked. Couldn't it? He could have been.
Oh, go back. We always
sat here week after week after week.
So irritating.
Go back the season we finished 5th. European football, we'll bring in Vernon and Ida. The only player we bring in.
Yeah.
Bring 3 players in. See where you go next season.
Exactly.
That squad that was playing European football, that was a decent squad.
Mike Ashley, and I can't believe I'll say this, but he could have gone down as a legend at this club.
He could have done.
If he had just changed his philosophy around how he runs the club and just made that little bit of investment at the times when it was needed to just totally turn it on its head, and we'd never find ourselves in the situations that we did.
Exactly. He still could have made money though. He could have made money.
He could have made a hell of a lot more money.
So what was? Obviously, it stemmed from he didn't like our reaction to his decision with Keegan at the start, and then he's just thought, sorry for him. That's what it feels like. He could have just come out at the time and gone, I'm really, really sorry. I've totally fucked up. Yeah, like I'm really sorry.
But his biggest regret at Newcastle was sacking
Allardyce. Yeah,
like away. Like,
I mean, even when he did come out and talk about it was it West Ham? The West Ham game when he went on the telly and done that. He talked about
when he came out there, like,
you know, how he'd made mistakes, how he'd learned from it, and all of that. And then
was that the one
we
where
all
was
know what
every
happened after
penny
that?
the club generates? Is that interview?
No, that was another one, wasn't it? That's when he went on with
that was
David Craig, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things, but like I don't think he intentionally tries to piss off. I just think he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. I would though. Like if I was hated so much, and I was given that much grief constantly, in the back of my mind I was thinking, take some of this.
And I like, but that'll be the difference between us and him. Like there'll be times if I feel as if I've pissed someone off and like I've been harsh to them. Like I could be lying in bed at night time and going, fuck, like I shouldn't have done that. Like, do you think he honestly cares? Do you think he's lying in bed at night time thinking?
No, he's looking at his expensive wallpaper.
Like, he says that he hates that photo of him when he's like stripping. He absolutely hates that. So that's why people put it on social media all the time. And it's like, so if he cares about that kind of thing, he's got to have some kind of care about his image.
He wears bloody bell-bottom jeans and white shirt all the time. He doesn't care about his image, does he?
But he probably thinks he looks cool as fuck.
The thing is when he does turn up at the games, like he's quite often at the London games, and the camera will always pan onto him when there's a chant going out, and he's always sat there pissing himself laughing. So it just goes to show you he couldn't give a fuck.
Nah.
Yeah. So Kevin Monahan sends in, why can't we as a fan base organise ourselves properly? Can it ever be done in regards to one voice, one direction to get Ashley out? Also, what percentage are you in regards to a takeover happening? So first of all, why can't we organise anything? That goes to everyone, to be fair. Like every single person.
So you've seen that massively over the last week since the announcement of the massive infighting amongst fans about, you know, putting each other down for their opinions and what they will and won't be doing for the end of the season.
So we saw it. It got announced when the club said there wouldn't be extending Rafa's contract. That was the day where the fan base should solely be pointing the anger at Ashley.
Yeah.
And you saw on social media, like you just said, it was in-house fighting once again between fan base. Why are you renewing your season ticket? Next one saying, why are you not? Like the team needs support. It's always going to be the same. But you need a boundary. You need some sort of meeting point in the middle. Yeah. And if boycotts,
we've seen it firsthand of when we have done boycotts in the past of people standing outside, and as people were going in, they're spitting at them, shouting at them, and calling them scabs. I don't care who you are. That's wrong.
It is wrong.
Yeah.
It's their choice whether they want to go into that ground or not.
Fans are the enemy.
Exactly.
Thing, isn't it? It's just we're not.
I've never understood this like part of the problem thing, and that gets my back up at times. I would never say a fellow Newcastle United fan was part of a problem.
I am the problem for the last week.
There's one problem here, and it's him at the top. That's the problem. It's no one else. He's the problem.
Exactly.
If I thought a completely empty stadium every game for the next season and Ashley would go, then I would think, all right, everyone's got to leave. But the fact of the matter is, the money he gets from the ticket sales isn't...
It's pennies.
It's
pennies.
He wants to be in the Premier League and he wants to finish in that little bracket where he gets the most money out of the least amount he puts in. And that's it. And it doesn't matter if you're there or you're not. So...
He gets £130 million just for being in the Premier League.
Exactly.
Before you sell a ticket, before a football's kicked or anything.
Exactly.
That's where the money comes from.
If the fans weren't to go, it'd just take it out of the Sky money. It would just mean you just wouldn't buy anyone. Like that's how his margins will always be the same. Yeah. He will always make
He'll just shift where the money's coming from.
He'll just shift where exactly.
The people that will ultimately lose out in match days being boycotted are the likes of Sodexo, that look after the hospitality and all of the concessions and stuff like that, because that's where they make their money from. The people that work at the ground are going to lose out because they're not going to have jobs and stuff like that. So there's a whole bigger picture around that you've got to.
And we're not saying we're not saying
think about.
We're not going to people that we're not the people that are going to go to the games. Of course, like I haven't made my mind up if I'm going to be going next year. I'm waiting until the dust settles. I'm not making an instinctive reaction to say I'll cancel my direct debit because God knows what's lining up in the next coming weeks. I'm still hopeful of some form of takeover. I know it's a very thin chance now, but I'm still hopeful. I'm still clinging onto that, and until something comes out where it says it's not happening, and that's when I'll make me decision.
That is that glimmer of hope that you're clinging onto, because you can bet your bottom dollar that if that takeover goes through, all of these people that are so vehemently against returning to that club will be the ones that are straight back. Yeah. But they'll take the moral high ground.
But they've got
on
their own reasons. Some of them have got their own reasons. I'm not going to criticise anyone that turns around and say I'm not going to step foot in St James's Park until Ashley's gone. Like, fair play to them.
Yeah,
do it.
Like, I'm not going to criticise anyone.
Some it takes a lot of bottle.
Some of them, so some of them probably had season tickets before I was born.
Exactly.
And obviously, when Ashley starts digging up and they cancel their season tickets, I welcome them back. Of course, come back. Exactly. Fair play for you for staying away.
Yeah, because it must take something.
Yeah.
There's lads in our group who've been going for years who, that's them cancelling it's massive. It's like
huge.
You have to stand up and actually acknowledge what that must mean to that person who's gone for so long. But fans that have different reasons as to why they go to the games.
Yeah.
It might be the only time they see their mates. It might be the only time they see their dad or that.
Well,
Decker out with their son.
Decker, who normally does a podcast, Decker pays for his season ticket in full, right? So let's take him as an example. He's already paid £600-700
quid. He renewed it 3 days before the Rafa announcement.
So, but that was his deadline. That's when he physically had to pay for it. He couldn't have postponed it any longer. So he had to make that decision there and then. And that's £600-700 quid that he's had to pay cash up front. And for someone to tell him not to go, it's 700 quid of his money that Ashley's already got. What's him going in the ground going to change? Nothing. The reason Decker goes to the game is because he's been doing it with his dad for God knows how many years. It's a time where him and his dad, Decker doesn't even meet us on a match day because that's his time with his dad. And it's understandable for his point of view, but then you put the shoe under their foot and you think, if the likes of Decker and his dad were to cancel the season tickets, then I'd applaud them. I'd be like, Jesus Christ, that's took a lot for you to do that.
I'm at that stage now where I'm applauding people who are cancelling, but I understand why you don't.
Yeah.
Because I've got so many mates who we all got all the away games and stuff like that, and I just can't imagine not seeing them at the game. And this is another one. The amount of loyalty points people have built up over the years, hundreds and hundreds of loyalty points. What, and just hide them away?
Yeah.
That's that done. Because I get it. I understand why they wouldn't want to cancel. Because they've built up that record of guaranteeing themselves tickets to the biggest games.
So let's just say you're sat there right now with
that's
loyalty points.
The what if, isn't it?
So loyalty points at the limit where you're never going to be short of a ticket. You're going to hit every single.
But once you get 150
so the
points,
club say 150 points for a away ticket, you'd be like, got them. Mine. They're mine. I don't have to drop down and down. They're mine. For someone to cancel them, because a lot of people are saying
you'll have to go to every away game for 6 or 7 years to have amassed that amount of points.
Well, we'll just go to the away games. If you cancel your season ticket, you're not getting a ticket for that away game.
Exactly.
So they're in catch-22. Those fans, because obviously we'll probably all know fans that go every single home game, every single away game. And for someone to just go, I'll just go to the away games. Good luck trying to get every single away game, because you're going to struggle.
Because you'll come across a away game where the majority of people want to go, like a Boxing Day away game, for example, it's Man United this year. People are going to want to go. It's Boxing Day away. It'll be difficult to come by a ticket, and if you don't get a ticket, then had you just kept your season ticket, and that would have guaranteed you one. So it's very difficult. I get these reasons why people get frustrated, that people, they're saying oh, you should just cancel. It would be amazing if we all did a boycott. It would, but it means more than that to people. You've got to realise how much it does mean to some people, that it's just not that easy to cancel.
Yeah, I think to be honest, the four that are sitting here now, I think we're all quite open-minded to either direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's
100%.
It's not a thing where say I'm definitely cancelling or I'm definitely going to go. Fuck, Mike Ashley, I'll be here long after I was here before.
Do what you feel is right.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. It's going to take me to get to that first kick of the season before I literally go, do I walk through them turnstiles, or do I turn me back on the club until he's gone?
if the takeover doesn't happen.
If the takeover and cock out, like, I'm there.
Like, I mean, people could even keep the season ticket on but not go.
Yeah.
Like, there will be people that do that.
Yeah, of course. Like,
I've been
all
paying for mine
boycott.
since February. So
Exactly,
I've paid the
I've
first
paid for
half
half
of my
the
season
season,
ticket.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm all for boycotts. Like, anytime someone suggests a boycott, I'm like, yeah, if everyone's getting on
If it
board,
works,
I'm
yeah.
there. I'm there with you. And like I said, I've stood with you that first initial boycott.
It's
Spurs
Tottenham,
one.
yeah.
And there was a handful of us stood outside there, like lads that obviously we weren't like best mates or anything, but we knew each other from different like friend groups, and like we were all stood together. And the image that got me there was that he was stood right in front of us. There was a bloke with a young lad on his shoulders, and the young lad, he must have been about 4 or 5. He was wearing a flat cap and he had an old Newcastle shirt on, and there was photos of him doing the rounds. I thought, geez, I was like, this is why we're doing it for these youngins like coming into the ground.
I mean, me and Adam were talking to 2 lads on, it was last Monday, wasn't it, when there was the big protest outside the ground after the announcement, and there was two lads that we were talking to, and they were like 19 and 20, and they've literally have got no idea about Newcastle United before Ashley, because that's from an age of understanding football and stuff like that. That's all they've known. I'm a bit older than them, so I've been and seen a bit more, and that's what keeps me going back, is the memories of when we did enjoy it and had and even when he's been there has been enjoyable times. There've been few and far between, but there's been some very good times that we've enjoyed.
In Europe, didn't we? You know?
So and that's what they're the memories and hopes that you cling to, and that's what keeps taking you back and drawing you back to the club.
It's the fear. It's the fear of missing something,
exactly,
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That odd game that stands out in people's minds for the next 20 years. It's the thought of not being there.
I was supposed to be at work for the Newcastle Everton game at St James's. Then I was begging me gaffer, I was like, can I go? But before, like, morning of the game, I was like, I'm not that bothered if I miss it. Like, I thought, I'm not going to miss much. And I was begging. Then, like, it came about 5 to 3, and they were like, get yourself away. So, like, Uber straight away, I work on Scotswood Road, so Uber didn't turn up, fucking cancelled. No, when it says Uber will be here in 4 minutes, and cancels just before, I said, bastard. Just started walking. And I was walking past Shearer's bar as Everton scored to go 1-0 up. I was like, for fuck's sake, well, I should have just stayed at work. So, like, I go to the turnstile, these two scouts lads run up, I was like, oh, where's the way end? So I hide them back towards the strawberry. I said, fuck yes, back that way, lads. Then, like, you get into the ground, and it's that sort of game. I'm glad I came, because from then on in, you're like, fucking imagine missing that.
Well, it was Man City for me. Before the Man City game, I was ill, dying. Oh, I'm not going. We're gonna get stuffed. We'll get hammered, and it was like, oh, well, I know, but I can't miss the game. Dragged myself on. Driving in, I was like, oh, I'm turning around, just go home. But I went in, and you think now, Christ, if I had have just
was that late
decided to stay, I was a nighttime kickoff, and I was like,
all the time you think,
if I just turned around and went home, like I'm sitting at the traffic light saying, just turn around. Do you want to go and sit? Really?
I know.
30 seconds in, or
and that's it. That's the things that you can only dream about, but in reality, you go back, 15, 20 years, and it was happening regularly.
Yeah, it was normal, wasn't it?
And you look at Man City and you think, that could have been us. That yet could be us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
still a chance.
Well,
so on the back of that, the second question, what percentage are you in regards to takeover? So the last two podcasts,
ever decreasing values, isn't it?
It's slowly dropping. I think
we were about 60%.
So at the start, we were like in mid 70s, and like last week I'm still claiming I was like 55. I'll probably say I'm still that. I'm still more confident than not. There's a takeover. There's definitely something happening. I don't care what anyone says. There's something happening.
There's definitely something happening.
But what?
I was like, when it first came out, I was like 90-80%. I was like, get in, this is happening. And then as it's gone on, like it's not the fact that they're not trying hard enough to buy the club. It's all of the shit that's buried in the contract.
Yeah.
That they're going through that. That's why it's taken so long from that initial takeover announcement to now, and we're still nowhere further forward. And apparently they're not even in the Premier League
They're not on the process of
yeah. So I mean, what's going on? And the only thing I can think of is they're reading through all the contract because they've agreed a price.
Yeah,
like you said, right, 350 million.
Well, I said that last week.
Yes,
I said the price is done. Obviously, that's a chapter closed.
Yeah,
the price is agreed.
And they thought, that's it. So
it seems like apparently the way it works over the likes of Dubai is once you have a price agreed, that's yours.
That's it.
So that company's yours. Over here, especially when you're dealing with the likes of Mike Ashley, that's not
by
the
the way,
case.
I want this, I want that, I want that. Sports
so that leads nicely into a question from Daryl Mitchell Hill. So he says, "Hi lads, hope everyone's coping well with the loss of Rafa. I know I'm not. A question he has is, do you think Mike Ashley is a willing seller, or is he just too greedy for his own good? And is it he himself who scuppers every takeover?"
Well, I mentioned this the other day, and I thought Mike Ashley comes out and he says, "I'll only ever sell the club to someone that's going to take the club forward." And I agreed it when he used to say that, but now it's proven that that's shit. He's only going to sell this club to someone that'll willing to give him what he wants in regards to Sports Direct. Yes. He wants Peter Kenyon to buy this club because he's got some form of relationship with Peter Kenyon where he knows for fine well he can get this, and that in regards to Sports Direct and the club shop.
If he cared that much, Rafa would still be manager right now.
Exactly.
So he doesn't give a shit. So no, I think it is. I think it is him that scuppers every single one.
But it's always been my thought with Ashley is until he physically wants to sell the club, it doesn't matter what we do on off the pitch, protest, shout and scream his name. He will not leave that club until he gets the deal that he wants.
No, I agree. He'll happy sit there and not spend a penny, until someone comes in and offers. Yeah, of course. Like we'll name the fucking ground Sports Direct. That's what he wants. He wants as much publicity for Sports Direct. Hence why he wants some sort of contract in there. Because let's say ideal world will get bought by this group, and what that does for Ashley is open so many more markets in the likes of the Dubai markets and Emirates and stuff like that. That's so many more chances for him to advertise Sports Direct. And do I blame him? No, of course not. If I was the owner and had that company, I'd do exactly the same. It's the thing that gets me is the whole thing that he had with Rangers. He wants the rights to the badge. So was it every £10 that the Rangers make? Every £10 spent, like Rangers make 4 pence or something ridiculous like that. Sports Direct get the rest of it.
That was something that it was someone from the Rangers supporters just said that. Imagine what he's done to us with 10%. It's when there's someone comes to buy the club. That's when you start to uncover. When you lift it up, that's when you start to uncover all the shite that Mike Ashley's piled on this football club. That means we'll be paying him millions and millions of pounds years after he's gone.
I flipped it around the other day and I was playing a bit devil's advocate, and I thought the structure's there, infrastructure's there for new owners to come in, keep everything as it is in regards to club shop. Of course, down the line you can think about with that, but right now there might be a bit of a uproar and a bit of a circus if you were to come into the club and lose everything. So it might be beneficial for the new owners to keep Sports Direct in control of the club shop, because we're hostages of Sports Direct right now in regards to the club shop. Everything is Sports Direct. So you see the wagons pull up and stuff like that. Like we're literally hostages.
From a logistical point of view, it makes perfect sense to keep Sports Direct as the supplier of the kits, because they can deal with all of the online stuff. You don't need to have all of the stock in the shop. You don't need to employ people to take orders online and then wrap it up and post it out and all that kind of thing, which that's what used to happen in the days before it got taken over. It would all be done out of the club shop, whereas now it's done down in that factory. It all happens.
So like Mike Ashley, businessman point of view again, obviously Newcastle are paying him X amount of money for warehouse fees and stuff like that. Of course he's going to want to keep that in any contract. I don't blame him. If you're thinking of your business head, of course. It's an absolute no-brainer.
It probably wouldn't bother the group taking it over either if it was like if it wasn't an unrealistic number. It's probably got a stupid... didn't the guy from Rangers say that while he had 10%, he got the shareholders who were friends of his, who bought shares, to agree to like a £1 a year rent for the club shop or something like that. It was like a stupid amount.
This is what he does.
But with a contract that they can't get out of.
Yeah.
Like, so you managed to get that through before you get... So it's like stupid things like that. The Strawberry Place thing as well. Ground rent for that to his son-in-law. For, I don't know, like 100.
Well, he put it through that many companies to try and obviously hide it, but perfectly legal to do it.
Yeah. But
Morally shocking, but
you can't get out of that contract either. So that's buried in there. So and they're just things that we know about. So these
that's the
people
thing.
that
It all comes out, doesn't it? At the end of the day,
diving into them, they'll be saying all these different things, and they'll be like, "What the?" So I'm paying 350 million for what? Like, what am I going to get out of it? Because in my head, I'm going to make a lot of money, but really, I'm not.
But then on the rest, after the 350.
Because you got to think, like, a new owners would come in and think, I want to get some of my money back, what I've invested. Where are you going to get that from? Sponsorship, advertisement. Corporate. So you go straight away, Sports Direct's got the main hold over the club. Where do I go from here? I'm going to struggle to get some of my money back in. Which is going to be the sticking point from there, which worries us a lot.
Yeah.
Because Mike Ashley's not going to lose any money by not selling the club. He's still going to make money off it. If he was making a loss, then maybe he would want to cut his ties, but he's not. No. He's making money off the club.
And that's what, like, to answer Daryl's question, I think he's a willing seller only if it suits him.
Exactly. He wants.
Yeah. So Jay Langston on the back of a takeaway says, is a silence from the club a sign that the takeover is progressing, or is it evidence that the club is choosing to ignore fans?
Could be both.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's the former.
Yeah, but we don't know because it could be both.
I've said if it is the latter, and the club are choosing to ignore fans, they're as bad as anyone else because they're technically misleading fans. Because they could come out and quash any single rumour now.
They could, but who's the person that does that at the club?
Exactly.
Because someone that runs the Twitter account isn't going to answer every single question. They're not paid enough to deal with all the crap.
Nah.
It's as simple as that.
They don't even have anyone assigned to social media. Let's remember, there isn't a social media team technically.
No.
It's a job's picked up by other lads that are doing other jobs.
They're doing jobs throughout the day. They'll quickly check their phone.
Yeah.
They'll then they'll be sent something to put out on the Twitter or whatever.
That's always frustrated me about the club.
Are they going to be in the know with what's going on?
Of course they are.
No. They're going to be briefed every day.
They'll be in the know as much as what we are. They'll not have a clue.
People think the club Twitter account is some graduate in some
it's
social
like Lee Charney
media.
sat behind there.
It's not. It's lads that are picking up.
At least he'd be justifying his wages if it was.
Yeah.
It's just lads that have got other jobs, and they've been brought in to do this on the side as well. That's all that it is.
It's just.
It's gone downhill since the tea lady left. It was her who used to do it all.
Remember the gnomes? Remember that's all that the club account was, trying to sell gnomes. Jesus.
Next one I Man costumes
is from GEORDIE Ahmed. For those of you that don't support a boycott, what would it take? Is there no limit to Ashley's piss taking that will be tolerated?
Is there anybody that doesn't support a boycott?
I don't buy things from the club shop. Probably because I'm like
that's been a key theme across today, obviously, because the strip's being released. That people saying just don't buy it. You're feeding Ashley. Just buy from somewhere else. Go and buy from Start Football.
Yeah.
That's what I was tweeting to every single person last year that was buying it. That's what I've been doing today. Support a local company that's based on bloody what's it called?
So
down from the monument.
One down there.
Start Soccer, Start Fitness. It's the same company. Just down from the monument.
So
it's a penny cheaper than the club shop.
Obviously, Mike Ashley.
They
of course.
They'll get a percentage but they get them direct from Puma. Because they clarified all of this last year. Because they made fortunes from
get it
the
from
kits.
DHgate, 11 quid.
Hey,
get the fake ones on the go.
Yes, but then you're funding all the good stuff.
Neil J.R. stands in. Once we finally get rid of Ashley, are there any plans on some good riddance Ashley flags? So that's aimed at you. Do you think once Ashley's gone, that'll just be it? Like, no mention of him ever again? Or do you think it'll be something just saying
I don't know.
Bye, Mike!
Yeah, we actually talked.
You could use your pulley, just a big, like a big waving arm or a couple of fingers.
like this.
that's the first.
Let's try to get Mike's face like that.
Just that photo of him with his top off, just rising up. I don't know. It's a tough one because when he's gone, you just want to move on, don't you? You just want to try and forget and
cut all ties,
and crack on with the new era. So I don't know. Well, I've actually thought about it, but it would probably our first display after he's gone would probably be the fact that we've hopefully got our club back and we're free from
welcome
that sort
the
of
new
thing.
owners, whoever
Exactly,
they are.
yeah, just moving on straight away.
But I think you probably would make an appearance at some point. I would have
More
thought.
than some dig will probably appear at
yeah.
some.
So Robin sends in, no question, but I just wanted to say, Wor Flags, thank you for everything that you guys have done to improve the atmosphere at St James's Park.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Look, he's just taking it.
Just brushing it off.
Been waiting 2 hours for that.
That's normal. That means a lot because we've had a lot of messages like that. That basically people have been very supportive. So
Bedford Mag sends in.
My dad, my sister.
He sends in with Ashley blaming the BZG for Rafa leaving. Do you think that Ashley? He keeps writing cunt in brackets after he says Ashley.
I read that before. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Do you think that Ashley thinks anyone actually believes in his lies? Or if no, takeover occurs, do Wor Flags have any plans in the pipeline for a new flag show of unity? So basically, you're at the point now where as long as Ashley's there for the time being, nothing's happening.
We're doing nothing.
Nothing. Complete radio silence,
Absolutely,
basically, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely not. We've had quite a few messages. Can you not do some anti Ashley displays? Blah blah blah. We can't because we'll not get them in the ground for a start. If we go into the ground and say right, okay, we need access because we'll get a lot of access into the ground. Yeah. So if we say, oh, we're going in, they'll come and check what we're doing. Yeah. So they'll just put a stop to it.
Do you find that often? Do you find that whenever you're doing something like preparation for a flag, that there'll be someone that'll check?
I reckon.
They don't really come in like
the security guards.
Obviously, they've got cameras and that.
Yeah,
and they can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
All the time, but they don't like come and walk over and go, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Yeah.
They find they just kind of give with a free rein.
So you mean Lee Tronney doesn't come down and have a look and you made a spelling mistake there, lads.
With a tin of paint.
No, he doesn't welcome us with his presence, but it's whilst Ashley's there, just nothing. And plus, if we did want to do something outside the ground, if anyone knows of any areas that are big enough to actually paint some banners, then let me know, because we have always actually wondered that. Because obviously we've got the entire Gallagher concourse. If you can match that space
inside,
let me know.
You're going to need a metro station.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
St James's Metro. What time is St James's Metro?
It's not very big. That
it's canny size, like.
Use the car park under behind the mill burn. That would undercover though, isn't it?
Lisa's car box.
I think we've answered your question.
Nah.
Still club property though, isn't it?
It is. Just. There's not the appetite there to do any displays now whilst he's still there.
Oh, that sounds right. Third question he sends in.
It's a bit greedy, isn't it?
Who do you think our next manager will be? So, based on no takeover.
Neil Redfern.
So, Nate, no takeover. Who's the next manager going to be?
I couldn't care less.
If
Mike Ashley's going to be owner, I could not.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
I already hate him.
We're talking about it.
It feels that way because who's going to come and work for him?
I know.
Because it irritates you because it still should be
desperate for the money.
Exactly, but it should still be Rafa. So under Mike Ashley, I have no interest in who's.
So if idea were take-over, obviously it can't be Rafa because he's away.
He hasn't signed that contract yet.
He's away. By the time this podcast goes,
just clinging on.
You're going to see a photo of Rafa holding some sort of like orange Chinese shit.
Being chased by a dragon around the pitch.
So if it can't be Rafa, who would it be?
Obviously, you've got Mourinho and Wenger are the two that have been mentioned.
Danny Murphy said Phil Neville today, like.
He's done a fair job with those Lionesses, like.
He has, but if we're getting took over, they're going to want someone massive to come in, and the only one that's going to do that is Mourinho. Yeah, that's the only one.
I've always thought, as ridiculously deluded this may sound, I've always thought with the Bobby Robson connection.
I was saying this in the Championship.
That's how deluded I was.
We did a podcast on it about 2 weeks ago, didn't we? On that very subject, and when Mourinho and Wenger were both linked, and I just as much as I like Mourinho, I just cannot see it working.
He's a big name. That's the only reason why. That's
exactly.
That's it. Bravado. It's all that is.
Trying to find that name that's going to replace Benitez. Exactly.
People complained about Benitez's football. Just imagine what it'll be like with Jose.
Oh God, aye.
Jason Hobby sends in, right, he's got a few questions, we've already answered a couple of them, so we'll go to his third one. It says, marks out of 10, how do you rate the new kit? So completely forget everything that's gone on, think about the new kit.
I much prefer it to this season gone's, when you see the two side by side.
So from the start, I said, from the very start, I was like, I like it. I don't mind it. Like, I don't know why people
it's grown on me.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
I quite like it. Out of 10, I would give it
It's grown on me.
6.
The away ones look horrific. If they are to go with...
Oh, I like the green one.
Do you?
I like the green one.
I'm waiting to see them in the
orange
flesh.
one.
The orange ones.
You know the design on that? Is that the roof?
Apparently, aye.
Oh,
apparently it's this Puma thing with the away kits. They're doing it like on the stadiums.
They've got a dead pigeon on the shirt.
It just looked like some sort of like tribal.
It's just
African
lines,
kind
but
of
if you
thing.
notice,
but apparently
it's the roof on the Milburn and Leazes.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, right.
They do know all the clubs apparently.
I might have just totally made something up there.
Might need a closer because they haven't released that one. Them pictures yet have the official ones.
Nah. He follows up one and says, now after the promo video, what's the view on the club? So the promo video that got released a few hours after Rafa's statement.
I thought the video was pretty decent.
It was alright, wasn't it?
If it hadn't came on off the back of the situation, you would have thought they've actually upped the game here around releases and stuff.
Do you know what
like
pisses
that.
me off?
Bobby Moncur.
Why
is he in the Labour Club?
Why
playing darts?
Why are they waiting now? Like, they should always release it at the end of a season.
Do you remember the times it always used to be?
Last game of the season.
Last game of the season. You wore the new kit.
We've done it against
Chelsea
Spurs.
not do that.
Yes, we did.
5-1 against Spurs. We wore the one.
We've done it.
Season.
How come that never happens with us?
I mean, I remember when we got promoted playing Leicester in the new A6 strip. It was before your time. It's when we were good. 92-93.
We normally release an away kit first as well. That normally goes on sale first.
They did.
They normally put the
they did
away
the year where we finished 5th because I remember wearing that to Everton.
Because
on
what
the last
they're
game
trying
of the
to do,
season, I wore that
they try and get as much
burgundy one.
money as for an away kit because obviously people want to buy the black and white one, so they'll release the away or third kit out first.
But it's worked the other way the last couple of seasons because the away kit's been better than the home kit.
Yeah.
So I had the black one and obviously the maroon one.
But some clubs are still doing that. I'm pretty sure Liverpool wore their new kit on the last day of the season. I might be totally wrong again.
No, they probably did.
But
that would have stopped all of this carry on though.
It's the 1st of July, isn't it? So the contracts must run for that kit.
Do you think?
That can't be a coincidence.
It's on sale early as well because it doesn't normally go on sale until much. Because my son's birthday is like 3rd of August, and I generally buy him the kit for his birthday, and it's only just gone on sale.
Can I just say on the back of kits how nice is Arsenal's?
Oh, it's lovely.
Classic,
all
isn't
three
it?
kits
It's
are
all red,
nice
but
kits.
it's gorgeous.
The yellow one's lush as well.
It is, really nice.
Reminds me of David Rocastle.
Adidas though, isn't it?
It's just lush.
Yours
Very lush.
canny, like your designs.
Oh, thank God. Do you know what it is? People are going, the designs are really canny. All I've done, those are just stock photos now. Those are literally kits that you can buy.
So
off
Puma's
the shelf.
kits?
The Puma kits.
And just put.
All I've done is just whack a Newcastle badge on it.
Really?
That you can physically buy those
Why
kits.
didn't they use them?
No idea.
I wish they would consult the fans on things like this because, like,
Well,
fans could pick. Well,
you say that, but you've just got to look at.
So look at this one, this new one.
I saw someone put one on Facebook, and it was just like loads of wavy black and white lines, and I was and people were replying saying, "Oh, that's class, that." And I think,
There's been some absolutely horrendous efforts, and some that are nice, but that's the thing. It's always opinions, isn't it?
exactly. That's true.
Right, so we've got a couple more. Neil Jr. sends in Arsenal game, going or boycotting. As things stand, if there's a boycott there, I'll be outside the ground. I will not be in the ground.
It's quite annoying for me because this is the first time in God knows how many years that I'm actually home for the first game of the season, so I could actually go to it. But the likelihood is we'll be boycotting it.
Yeah, if that's an option, if we're in the same situation as we're on now, where Mike Ashley is owner, we've got some absolute dickhead as a manager that we already hate, and this is what we're going to be going into the season. I think you would daft not to boycott it, even if you got your season ticket, even if it's paid for, you'd be daft not to.
Yeah, I agree.
You need to put some form of statement out.
I agree.
I'm not going to judge you for going to the future games, but if that's one game, first game of the season, it's on telly, it's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. All these fan groups trying to get big screens in Lisa's Park, that's not going to happen.
No.
Like, it's not going to happen.
I like the idea, but
It's not
It would be fantastic from an event point of view.
It
imagine.
is possible. Apparently there's loads of carry on trying to get the big screen in for the World Cup
Times Square,
in Times Square. Imagine trying to get it on. Was it the Townwell where they want it?
Aye.
With like 30,000 people. Not happening. Like, I don't want to be that person. It's not happening. Let's be honest.
We've been asked as a group quite a lot now though to actually back a boycott for that game. It's impossible for us to do. Look, we just do flags.
Yeah.
Like we backed the last boycott against Wolves, and that just got completely shot on. So we don't want to put our name to it because as a group we can we?
No.
Like in terms of we can't agree.
Yeah.
So why would we put a name?
This
to it?
is the thing. Like a lot of people put it on social media. Obviously, we're also on a podcast and YouTube channel. People think, "Oh, they think of the voice of the fans." We've never been in a situation where we're thinking.
Well, I was getting called
like,
a super fan.
Us, me, him, and Decker would never agree on half the things anyway. So how could we ever be a voice? Same with you. People probably be expecting you going. You should be putting some form of statement out, and this is what you.
Why?
Like, why?
Why?
No. Like make your own opinion. That's what it is.
That's what we've always said, isn't it? Is you'll make your own decision on what you feel is the right thing to do.
It doesn't need us to back it. It doesn't need any group to back it, does it?
So on the back of that, we've seen a lot of publicity, a lot of new members sign up to the Newcastle United Sports Trust. You're part of that trust. So what's happening there?
So it's obviously we've flown up in numbers in terms of members. It's incredible.
Sky high,
it's near 7,000. If it hasn't passed that already, I'd be surprised. So that's amazing, given it was downwards of about 1,000 when the trust board got together in January. It's a brand new trust from what's been there in the past. It really is a brand new board.
Just a new lease of life, isn't it?
Aye, yeah, and obviously the membership prices have been slashed, which is it's a quid, for a year, a tenner for a lifetime. It used to be a tenner for £100 lifetime.
It's
membership.
no brainer, innit?
It's
absolute
a quid,
no-brainer.
you know what I mean? And it's regulated financially. It's regulated by the Football Supporters Association. So they are through the Premier League regulations. The club have to meet with the trust. So there's that side of things. And the fact that the fans have the say as to who's on the board. So there's like loads of things with the trust. It's all just egos and all this. Fine. If you don't like that person, come the next AGM, just vote them off or vote someone else on that you think's more suitable. That's how it's going to work. And with regards to the trust, they've got loads of plans which will be announced in time. It can't be something that like other groups where like the Magpie group, for example, which is fine. They're reactive. They're gonna go on the back of a decision and then make their announcements as what protests they want to do straight away. That's absolutely fine. The trust has to be a little bit more measured, I think, and I think a lot of people will agree with that in the long run.
The trust got to be a bit more political about
it. It has to be because they are regulated, so it has to be a bit more balanced. So there will be more announced that they're doing the proper due diligence on meetings and stuff like that before plans, like with pledge schemes and wanting to own the plans sound very unrealistic now, but owning 51% of the club, securing the financial security of the football club. One of the questions has been, where's me pound going and stuff like that. It's a pound a vote. So that's all it's securing. It's a pound a vote, and then obviously we've done things like with the Bournemouth lads who went on the pitch. The Newcastle fans of Bournemouth who got arrested. We felt with their legal fees. But it's not just to do. It's not a protest group against Mike Ashley. It's for the betterment of Newcastle United as a whole, and it's run by the fans. So it's issues like safe standing.
You're big believers safe standing.
Huge. That's our dream.
Is that why you went on the board?
That's one of my things. I work with in a volunteer role with the Football Supporters Association anyway, on their fans embassies with England, and I'm well into like the campaigns that they do. Well on board with them, like safe standing, and then like this campaign's going to be launched against this new European Super League that's going to be announced, or they're going to push for anyway. So campaigning against that, and that's what the trust is going to be for, all fan issues, not just against Mike Ashley. So I just think a quid of your money can go a long way when we meet with the club, and just for the future. And like I say, if you don't like someone on the board, just vote someone else.
I think what a lot of people struggle with, well, I'm saying struggle, like a lot of people struggle, but anytime any Newcastle United fan or fan base try and raise any form of money, it's always followed by the question, why? Where is it going? Why should I do this? No one has to do anything. No one's forcing you to donate anything. What you're saying, accounts, they've got to be published. You've got to show where
You have to
any
show where the
form of
money's going.
And I saw a lot of people's, like, because I think one of the replies was, we've got to send emails out to people. And I didn't know this until recently because I was thinking about sending like some weekly, monthly newsletters out just of like people from the podcast and the whole Gallagher Shots thing. It's fucking expensive.
It costs money.
Expensive. Because I was thinking, like £10 a month, it's nothing. Aye, that's for like 300 people. If you've got 7,000 and counting,
Exactly.
that's going to be a lot more money to do that. That's per month.
There's running the webs, building the website, you know, all that sort of stuff. Making the website secure, making the payments a little bit more secure, so there's more options. There's so many running costs involved with the supporters trust, and you've just got to look at other examples around the country at other supporters trusts. There's other groups like the Spirit of Shankly at Liverpool. They have I'm pretty sure it's like over 100,000 people involved with that. You know, it's like just an incredible amount of people.
The good thing about what I'm seeing from the trust now, it's not just local fans as well. It's worldwide, and obviously today the whole Rafa thing. Rafa's came out and said he's going to be a lifetime member. Like, you don't need anyone better than that to say that they're joining.
No, it's the right people are trusting this, and I think that put your trust in it because the right people are backing it now, and rightly so, because it's not some ego-driven.
And like you say, if someone's not pulling the weight, if you're not happy with something that's happening, you've got some form of say in that.
100%. Exactly.
Is it going to be a case where there's going to be meetings as well, like coming up where members can attend?
Yeah, 100%.
Or potential members can even attend?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I know the Magpie Group had something tonight. Well, whenever you're watching this, it was on Monday night. Yeah. Basically, their plans, and I think those people from the trust, they're trying to publicise what they want to do as well going forward. So it's an absolute no-brainer. I signed up the other day.
There just has to be something in place in case the worst was to happen. You see it happening to so many other football clubs now, is that they're getting just torn apart by the owners and literally left in ruins. And it's the fans who have to pick it back up.
Yeah.
It's setting these plans in place now so that the club is secure if it was to happen. I'm not saying it will, but then building it up more and more and more. If you want a little bit of research into like pledge schemes, look at what Hearts are doing. Hearts have raised millions of pounds based on their fans are going to be eventually, they've got an agreement with the owner, they're eventually going to buy the club or have a share in the club, you know. So I think that has to be the aim in football in general, that fans have more of a say in their football club.
Is it a good way to think about it as like some sort of, is it more like a union? Like, do you know when you're at work and it's like a workforce union? So basically that for supporters, like someone that can represent you if needed for certain situations and things like that.
Yeah, I suppose it is, yeah. We need it, don't we?
Because I just think what you're saying about the lads, like you went on the ball, they didn't they basically fell on the ball from the pitch celebrating, a bit overexcited, and they didn't do anything wrong.
No,
well, most of them.
Well, so that was something where you could have, where you did step in and say we're going to help to defend you.
Yes. Exactly.
So you never know as a fan when you're going to be in that situation.
Exactly, and it's that sort of thing that the trust is there for, as to back the actual fans, because it hasn't had that for a while. And that's what the trust will be. Like I say, it's run by the fans. So
I think a lot of people are thinking, it's a whole thing to get Mike Ashley out of the club. It's not. It's something for the fans.
It's not. Yeah.
It's just giving everybody a voice, isn't it? Exactly. To have that conversation, to get the point over. So it's opening lines of communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll put a link to the Supporters Trust on the comments and in the description.
I think that's probably the biggest thing, is how you get that message out to even more people, because when you say it's great, we've got 7,000 people signed up,
social media,
it's really in the grand scheme of things, it's a tiny number when you when you look at it compared to a match day.
Let's be honest.
Need to get it out there as much as possible.
The Chronicle are being involved with it, being publicised, and I think there's a couple of the big accounts, like you mentioned social media, there's a lot of big accounts that have done it, a lot of ex-players.
There was a couple of websites as well, NUFC.com, Biff has pushed it as well, so that way it reaches that wider audience, and you've just got to, it's word of mouth, isn't it? Tell your mates who might not be on social media, it's a quid.
Of course, and it's rocketed the last few days, like mental.
Of
course, it might have a thing where it'll dip, but
naturally
it'll go back up again. Yeah. Like it's never, you're not really going to drop things, because it's a lifetime membership. Like
exactly, exactly. So
there's only just got that bit of impetus because of what's happened in the last week, and it's then being able to build on that and push on, isn't it?
Yeah. I say the fact that I think what appeals is the fact that we're regulated, and the fact that we're getting.
You can't hide, can you? You can't hide behind anything.
We are literally there for the fans.
Out in the public, everything is.
Exactly.
I'm glad that it's doing really well. It's that's one of the things that made it a hard decision for us to stop doing displays, was because other than displays, we're doing other things like the singing section, and we're wanting to try and push the safe standing. And it just feels like, because we're going to have to take a step back, at least we've got the trust that now can push on and carry it on, and more members, and push that kind of thing forward. So I'm excited. I think it's going to do wonders, hopefully anyway.
Hopefully.
It's good that we've got safe standing coming into the UK as well.
It's happening anyway.
Yeah. We've got teams that have adopted it for this season.
It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer.
It is. You've got to have the choice. You've got to have the choice, and obviously standing isn't legalised, but the fact that they have to make seating areas where people are standing safe, the only option is a rail seat. So put a rail seat in. That's what
I'm a firm believer as well. Every single ground should have some form of singing section behind the goal.
It's way out.
And I was that Newcastle's got shifted up there.
That's the only place that they would give her, because
that's what I mean. Like, a lot of people shifted from the likes of the corner
to go up there,
and they got put up there. And imagine if you're in level 7. You can't see the singing section.
You can't hear it.
Like,
can't hear it.
Where's it coming from?
We've had that discussion, because I say I normally sit in the Gallagher, but occasionally I'll sit in the Lees when I take my son, and you can't hear it at the other end of the ground because of the roof. But I know fine well the noise that is happening down there, because I'm part of it. I'm between you guys in there in the corner, right in the middle of it.
We're desperate to get a move behind the goal.
So it's like, desperate. We keep pushing the club. Like,
it's so hard.
It has to be done. It has to be.
But to be fair, the amount of people
there have actually renewed.
Jacking the season tickets in could be the one, couldn't it?
Exactly.
There's got to be some big gaps now.
Because we've even thought about self-funding it. Like, just, I mean, look how much money we got for the massive flag.
Yeah.
If you put it out there and you go, if you were interested in a seat and you had to pay for it, would you be interested?
It's 100 quid a seat.
100 quid a seat.
To put in store.
I'd do it. If I was guaranteed a seat in the safe standing area behind the goal, 100 quid, I'd be like, definitely.
Whack that on top of me
direct. Put it on your season ticket. It's
definitely.
Just do it before the 10%, the 10-year deal runs out, so it's not too much.
Right, I'm done. Anything else?
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything?
No, happy.
Sorry, Johnny, I love you.
Right, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks to Guglielmo.
Thanks for coming on, joining me.
Yeah, thanks to these two for coming on. Thanks to Guglielmo Clothing for sponsoring the podcast. There is a discount, ADUSF Pod, 20% discount. And thanks to GEORDIE Gifts who have joined this season. You'll be seeing a lot more of those next season when the sponsorship starts. But it's just a heads up, and their link will be in the description too.
The half price Rafa birthday cards at the minute.
Is that actually it?
Probably. They're not going to sell many now.
Giving them away now.
I've got about 200 pin badges in the house. God knows what I'm going to do with them. Oh, we might have a quiz coming up. Well, we'll have got a quiz coming up. We're setting a date. So just it was just going to be
sure it was going to be this week.
Well, it was just going to be a football quiz, but now it's just going to be solely Newcastle United. It is going to be in this pub, in the Ashley pub. Yes, I know it's called the Ashley before people start commenting.
Lord Ashley.
No, it's not called the Lord Ashley anymore. It's just called the Ashley pub. It's on a road called Ashley Road, right? That's why it's called the Ashley.
It's not. Stanhope Road.
And
just making that up, aren't you?
That's Ashley Road, right?
No, it's Stanhope Road.
Right,
is this pub on Stanhope Road?
Don't criticise it. We didn't name the pub. Right.
The Mike Ashley pub.
Right, see you later.